after that we are just asking the user to give us the input. And then what we do, we are just comparing if choice is equal to 1. So we are just doing that calculation of area and printing the area. Similarly, we will do another if choice is equal to 2, calculate the parameter. If the choice is equal to 3, then do something else. So when we create the program for the creating the calculator, so in that case you will be giving if choice is equal to plus, so you will write sum is equal to a plus b. Then if choice is equal to minus, then choice you can say the subtraction is equal to, or number 3 is equal to number 2 minus number 1, because in the subtraction you better check this thing also, which number is greater, if the number 1 is greater or number 2, otherwise you can also print with the negative sign, right? And then for similarly, if choice is equal to 3 or choice is equal to star, show the result of the multiplication. So this is how you are going to write this. So we are just using if statements in order to the comparison. What is the choice? That means what the user has entered. So here on in place of 1, you can write the character plus, minus, multiplication or division. Clear this thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, see, after learning about the various kinds of selection statements, that we have understood that for decision making, we take the different kinds of decision in day-to-day life, and for the same we use the if statements. If this, then what? If not, then what? So if, then, else, something like this we have to do. So the same has been incorporated into the programming using if, else and elif statements. The next task is that we in the real life we also do a lot of repetitive tasks. So for doing these kind of repetitive tasks, we use the iteration statements, and there are two types of iteration statements, or there are two types of loops in Python. One is for loop and another is while loop. Like if I tell you that you have to print the table of 5, 10, 20, any number, I want you to write a program that you will ask the user to give input of the number, and your program will show the table for that particular number. Like if I tell you to print the table of 5, then how are you going to do that? So you'll have to show the multiplication repetitively. We are doing, see, 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4, like that we are going to write all the 10 statements, and then we are going to print each one of these. So rather than doing this particular task and writing it multiple times, we can do the task using the loop statements, right? So first statement that we are going to discuss is that is a for loop. So for loop is used for iterating over a sequence. Just remember, we are talking about, we are going to use the for loop over a sequence only. And what is a sequence? Sequence can be a range of object, list, tuple, string, dictionaries, anything, right? So what is the syntax for this? So we write for, after that this is just a variable name which will help us in iterating over the sequence. So this x here, in is a keyword, for is a keyword, x is just a variable name. You can write anything. You can write I, j, k, l, m, n, or whatever you want to write. Then this is a string. What is string? String is a sequence of characters, right? So now I want to iterate over this string and print all the characters in this. So what it will do, this x will iterate from first position to second position. It will keep on moving by itself. We are not going to do anything. Its complete functionality is written at the back end, right? So when I execute this, so I get these letters. So these letters we get because x is iterating over banana. So first it will go to the 0th position. You can say it is reading like an array. So the 0th position is B, then first position is A, then second position is, you can say, so it is reading it like this. Let me show you. Like when we gave one word, B-A-N-A, but it is reading it as B-A-N-A-N-A, and it will start from here. This is the index position, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what it will do, 4 here, You can say where we have a x first points here, then x will point here, then x will point here, then here, there, till this string lasts. And for the same, we are not writing any part of the code, extra code. This is done by this single statement only. Okay, so this is how this banana is interpreted by the for loop, and we are iterating over the string character by character, and it is being printed. Right? So similarly, let us take one more example. So here we have a string, here we have a tuple. Right? So for I in, we have 3 numbers in this particular tuple. Right? So we just, first it will go to 4, it will just print it, then it will go, see what it is happening is, so first it will go to B, then it will print B, then it will go again. Right? It is testing the condition for x in. So what this x in is counting is, so if there something exists in this particular string or in this particular tuple, till then it will keep on iterating. So it is looking at everything by itself. We are not writing any part of the code for that. Right? So this is the beauty of this for loop, that we are not doing any additional tasks that we used to do in the C or Java. When we write the for loop, we do the checking by itself. We write like for x is equal to 0, let us say this is the initial state, and then we what do we write? Then x less than whatever is the length of the string, then x plus plus. So the position of the x will be updated one by one, and it will go on till the length of that particular string. So but that thing is not required to be done in the Python. Right? So it is simply doing that particular task by itself. So it will, this statement for x in, so this x in will itself test if there is anything left in over here in this particular part. So similarly, we do it for the tuples. Right? So we are doing it for the tuple. So it will just iterate over all the elements on this particular tuple and print them one by one. So see, what is basically a list is, sorry, here this is a list. We are going to discuss in detail about the list also. So here, for the time being, you assume this is an array. Array, do you understand what is an array? Yes, please. Anybody who knows what is an array? Am I audible?
Ma'am, the rows and column.
Yeah, like we have the rows and the columns. See, when we are using the multiple data structures, like we know what is a variable. Variable is used to store some value. So, but it stores only one value. Now, if we want to store the multiple values together, see, when we are creating the variables in the memory, these variables are, I told you, these variables, they are the named memory locations. So when we are, let us say we create 5 variables, and these 5 variables will be stored, let us say first variable v1, second will be stored here v2, anywhere in the memory, v3, v4. Now when we have to access them, these are randomly searched in this particular memory. Right? And if, let us say, if I want to store the data of 100 words, right? Let us say, like, if I have 5, here I have written the names of the 5 fruits, but I want to store the names of the 20 fruits or the 50 fruits, then what I will do? I'm not going to create the 50 variables, no? So I'm going to use a better data structure to store the data, and one of the data structures to store the data is array. Right? So here, but there is a you can say drawback of the array, that it can store only one type of data. Let us say I want to store the information about 20 students, their name, roll number, age, and marks. Right? So the name is a string, age is number, marks may be float type also. Right? So in order to store such kind of data, that what we have, the arrays cannot store, arrays can store either the data of type integer, all the integers can be stored, or all the floating points can be stored at one time. Right? So we cannot store the mixed data. But here in the Python, using the list, we can store the mixed type of data also. So we are going, after this topic, we are going to discuss about the list only. So here we have a list where we have stored the strings. So we can, here we are, I'm just going to tell you that while working with the loops, these 4 loops, they iterate over a sequence, and it can be anything, right, as I've shown you. So it can be a range object, a list, a tuple, string, dictionaries, anything. So here it is an example of the list. So when we just execute it, it is going to print all the elements of this particular list. Then in order to see, this is just an example where we have already stored the data. Now we have a range function, that is an inbuilt function in the Python. So it is used to generate a sequence of numbers. So if you want to generate a complete sequence, let us say you want to generate a sequence of 100 numbers or 20 numbers, 20 odd numbers or 20 even numbers or something like that, right? You have some choice, you have some requirement. So for the same, we use a range function. Range allows the user to generate a series of numbers within the given name. So how do we specify the range? You see this one. So in the range function, we pass 3 parameters. One is start, that is from where we have to start, then from where we have to stop. And just see, the when we are using the start will be included, but the stop will not be included. Let us say if we have written 1 and 11, so the numbers will start from 1, but 11 will not be included. It will be 11 minus 1. So the numbers, to print the numbers from 1 to 10, we have to give a range of 1 to 11. So it is going to print a range. So the stop, that means when this value is greater than the desired range. Then step by default, if we don't specify anything, like we have done in this particular case, this example, so it is by default taken as 1. If you want to change it, so you have to write a comma and then changes. You write a step of, let us say you want to have the alternate numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, or you want to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or you want to just print the series, like you start from 3, 6, 9. So there will be a step of 3. So whatever step you want, so that you can write. So how many numbers should be skipped, and what you want to get, what kind of output you want to get the result. So start is the starting integer of the sequence, and by default its value is 0. Stop is the upper limit, and stop is not included in the generated sequence, as I have told you. So it is an integer, and step is the increment or the decrement, and the default value is 1. So here you see I have written for I in range. So this range will generate all the numbers from 1 to 11. So I have written a function, so that means it will be interpreted as 1 to 10. Then I will iterate over these 10 numbers, and it is going to print this using the print function. So let us say I write it to, right? So I have used 2. What is 2? 2 is a step. So first it will print 1, then 1, then 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7. So up to 9 we get, because when we add 2 to 9, it gets 11, and that is beyond the range that we have specified. So this is how it generates the numbers. And since by default it is going to, the beginning value is 0, starting point is 0. So if you want to print the numbers from 0 to 10, you just write 10, because the start is, it by default starts from 1, and the step value is by default 1. So it will automatically print all the numbers from 0 to 9. So the total numbers are 10, but the range is from 0 to 9. Right? So similarly, so this is one way to write, this is another way to write. So for printing these numbers, this is another way to write 0 to 10. This is also going to give us the same result. Then here also, so whether you write this way or you write, these are the different ways to get the same result. Any doubts till now? Yes, please. Any doubts till now? If anybody has doubt in between, you can stop and ask me. Then the same thing, like we had, I had included a range of step over here too. So here the question is that print all the numbers, print odd numbers between 1 and 50. So what I've taken, I'll start from 1. This is the start step, this is the stop step, and this is the step. So start, stop, and step, and simply it is going to print all the odd numbers between 1 to 50. So what I have to do if I want to print all the even numbers between 1 and 50? Yes, please.
स्टार्ट 2 से करेंगे.
Yes. So what we'll do, correct? I'll write it over here. 2 simply, and we get all the even numbers. Okay. Now print all the multiples of 3 from 3 to 30. So what I have done, start from 3, then 33, that is the stop, because I want to have the complete table. So that's why I have to add the 3 here. Then 3 is the step. So simply printing the table using the for loop, we are able to get. So now you modify this function to take the input from the user and print the table. Yes, please. Everyone. You have to modify this program to take input from the user and print the table of the write in the chat box. Okay, I'll ask you to share your screen. Done? Dhruv Singla? Dhruv Singla? Are you there? Dhruv Singla? Nitin Nimesh? Nitin? Okay. Are you doing it? Dhruv, have you done it? Okay, please share your screen. Dhruv, please share your screen. Or anybody else who wants to share the screen and show? Yep.
I want to ask something.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, Dhruv. Okay, fine.
We are asking for input of 10 numbers, and 3, then 6, then 9, and then we have to
No.
print it.
So that is the redundant task. We want to get rid of this. User is not supposed to write the table. You just have to ask the user, like we tell our kids, okay, you tell me the table of 5, right? So you just ask one number from the user, right? So the user will give, let us say user writes 7. So now you print the table of 7 through your for loop.
Means we have to write the table of 3 now.
No, any number
Nee.
from the user. User can enter any number.
Okay.
Right?
I'm trying.
You just see this program. Dhruv has shared. He has done it. Dhruv, please increase the size. Here you can see y is equal to int input, right? So we are taking the integer. We are taking the input, converting into the integer. So y is having a number, like user may enter, like here he has taken the input, user has given 5, let us say, right? So after that, for I in range 1 to 11, what we have to do is, so because the table has to be printed started from 1 up to 10, right? So what we are doing, we are just printing I multiplied by, why you've written x, it should be y, no? From where you have taken this x? It is coming from upstairs. Yeah. So, okay, the first 5 is the input and rest is showing the result. You just execute once more and show it to others. Take another input of, let us say, 7. right? So this program can print the table of any number. Here you can see.
Okay, okay.
Got it? So this is what I was expecting.
Oh,
Okay. Anyone else who's having any queries? Okay, let's move. Okay, we move on. Here we have font size is fine. Is it visible properly? Okay. Right, so the next program, see, I'm just trying to show you the various kinds of tasks that can be done by applying the for loop. Like if I want to print the sum of 15 numbers, right? So you can print the sum of, let us say, I want you to write a program to find the sum of first 100 numbers or first 200 numbers or first 2000 numbers. So how are you going to do that? That task to be done is very tedious if we do it manually. So the simplest way is to write up 2 3 lines of program, and then you can print the sum of any numbers that you want. So you just have to take the input from the user, and then you just do this way, like sum is equal to 0. So we just take one variable initially, assign the 0 value to it, then for I in range 1 to 16. So here, this range, as we have seen in the previous program, we can take the input from the user and you can write the range over here, right? After that, here we are just doing it for the 15 numbers, 1 to 15. So what I have written, sum is equal to sum plus I, because this I is navigating through all the numbers in this particular sequence, and after that I am printing the sum. So when I execute this program, so I'm getting the sum of all the numbers one by one, but I just want the final sum. What should I do? Can anybody tell me? Like, it is showing the sum of all the numbers 1, 3, 6, 10. Finally, I'm getting the final 120. So I just want the final result. I don't want all these results. So what should I do? What change should be done in the program?
मैम वन को हटा दो.
One को हटा
Take
दें.
print command from outside of the loop.
Yes, please, Himanshu.
Print command from outside of the loop.
Right.
Just
This is the correct answer. This way, right? So see, indentation, see, this is the beauty of indentation. When the print is inside, it will print all the sums. It is part of the for block over here. Now I just want to print the final sum, so the sum will have the final value after completing this for loop, right? So now you will see only the final sum, 20 only. Clear? So this is how we play with the various commands, and if we know how we have to carry out the things. Okay, so can you change this above code to find the product of first n numbers? Can you write a program to compute the factorial of a number? You know what is factorial? Do you know what is a factorial? Factorial of 5 means the all multiplication of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. So this is called as the factorial of a number. So if the number is 3, what will be the factorial of 3? Yes, what is the factorial of 3?
6.
Right, so you just write a program for that. You just have to modify this program only that I have written. Just 2, 3 lines of code, nothing else. Just let me know as soon as you are done so that we can move further. Krishnakant, I will see your work. Okay, I want to see your program now. Krishnakant. Yes, Lokesh, correct. So just complete the program. Himanshu has input sum is equal to 1, I is equal to sum is I print sum. Use the same program that is given by Himanshu, and okay, let's do it here. So and the number, let's say 4. Let's test on some other number also, 4. Yes, it is correct. So this code was created by Himanshu. I am executing the same code. So we are taking, okay, it's again fine. So what we are doing over here, and we are taking, see, to make the program more flexible, we take the input from the user, because when we take the input from the user, we can use that program for doing any kind of computations. We can change the input at any point of time. So here what we are doing, see, in this case, see, when we are doing the addition, we take the sum as 0, but when we are doing the when doing the multiplication, we are taking the initial value of the variable as 1, because multiplication will lead to 0, right, for all the values. But in the addition, we don't want any previous value. That's why we have taken the initial value to be 0 over here. So what we do for I in range n is the maximum value, because what we are doing is, so we are doing it, so you can write a program both ways. You can start from the 0, start from the 1, go to the maximum value, or you can start from the maximum value that is given by the user and go just decrease the value. So n is the number that has been given by the user, like it is 5, so 5, so and then stop is till 0. Since 0 will be not be included, it will go till 1, and minus 1 is the step. So we are decreasing the value of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So first it will multiplied by 5, then it will be multiplied by 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. So this is how it is computing the factorial of a number. And this is the other way that has been printed. So this is in the reverse order, and this is in the forward direction. So either you do like this or this, both are correct. Okay. So this is a program. You can do the practice. Write a program to calculate and print the electricity bill of a given customer. The customer ID, name, and units assumed by the user should be taken from the keyboard and display the total amount to pay to the customer. The charges are as follows. If the bill exceeds 400 rupees, then surcharge of 15% will be charged, and minimum bill should be of rupees 100. Right, so you can just practice. We have used the various selection statements here. The for loop is not required, so this is just a practice that you can do. Then simply using the for loop, you can compute the square root, you can compute the cube of any number that is given in the list. So you have multiple items in the list, so you can compute anything. So here we have the 3 numbers in the list, and we want to print the cube of every number. So what we have done, v is navigating through 1. First it will compute the cube of 1, then it is 1, then cube of 2, that is 8, and the cube of 3 is 27. So it is just we are printing. So this is just I'm trying to tell you. So okay, can you tell me what will be the output of this? Find the output of for I in range 1 to 21. Print I, tab, print I. So what it will print? So what will be the output? You can speak up. What does the end statement do? Anybody? Anyone? Yes, please. Find the output for I in range 1 to 21. Print I. What this end will do? You can write in the chat box also. I hope you all are doing. Okay, correct. Himanshu is telling me, so it will print a tab distance, it will not change the line. So what will be the exact output that we will be getting? Can you see? Because we are just repeating print I, giving a distance of tab and then again printing I. So that's why it is printing numbers from 1 to 20 like this. So this is how you can do the, you can say the formatting if you want to do. If I, let us say if I have to print stars. Instead of this, I will print stars. See? Write a program. Okay, just note it down. Try to write your name or the alphabets. Do some designing using these for loops using the stars. Okay, tomorrow you show me that what all you have done. Okay, otherwise I will share some certain patterns. Okay, you print the triangle. Okay, so this is your assignments. So print a triangle of stars using for loop. Okay, so this task you have to show me. Print a triangle of stars using the for loop. Okay, that's all we have to done. Okay. So you want to do practice, write one program to find the factors of a number? Yes? Just respond me or
I'm getting an error with this end command.
show me.
Okay.
Share your screen.
It's
Just
visible.
increase the size. Do control plus plus, it will increase the size. Print I and here after the end you have written equal to or something else?
Dash.
The equal to.
अच्छा.
ठीक है, अब रन करो. हो गया?
ओके, ठीक है.
आपका प्रिंट क्योंकि बाहर है ना फोर लूप से सेकंड वाला, इसीलिए जैसा मेरा रिजल्ट था वो नहीं आया आपका. इस प्रिंट को अंदर करो. यस, रन इट अगेन. गॉट इट?
ठीक है, थैंक यू.
ओके. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, now let us see how to use the range with a negative step. As I think one of the students, I think Himanshu had written the same program of factorial of a number using the negative step only. So this is what I'm going. Yes?
We share the screen.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute. Visible now?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are using the range function, again the range function with the negative step, like for I in range 10, that is the maximum value starting point. See, if we will start from the maximum value and we want to go backwards, so what we do is we are giving the maximum value in the beginning, then 0, that is the last, because it will not be included, so it will be, so when we keep on subtracting and we reach to 1, it is 1 minus 1 is 0, so it will just print the not going to take up the last value, it will print last minus 1 that we have given the stop, and minus 1 is the step. So when we print this, see here, this is just for formatting, that we want to print the numbers with a space, and here you say we are able to print the reverse numbers. So when we are taking it from the beginning, we can print in the increasing order, and here we are printing the numbers in the decreasing order, that is in the reverse order that we say, right? And here, can you tell me for I in range 10 to 15 minus 1, what all will be printed? Yes? Can anybody tell me what will be the output for this, for I in range 10, 15 minus 1? My question is, what will be the output for this? For I in range 10, 15 minus 1, then print end. What should be the output for this? Anyone? Or you are trying? Himanshu says the output will be 10. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, Dhruv says no output. Anybody else? See, very few students are writing, no? I want everyone to participate. Others also, please, whatever you want to guess, because we are learning, right? So during learning, you should not be scared of guessing. Use your logic, whatever you know. Okay, 10 minus 11, infinite table or no output. Okay. Few more to answer. Yes, please. Ananya says no output. Anybody else? Okay, let us execute this. There is no output. Why there is no output? Just see what we write in the range. This is the starting point, right? This is the stopping point. If we use plus 1 over here, then 10 will go and reach to 15, right? But when we are using 10 as the beginning and the stopping is greater than that, right? So we are using a minus, it will reach to 10 minus 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, but it will not reach here, right? So it will not give any output, it will break the loop. If I write it plus 1, yes, then it was going to give us the output 10, 11. But since it is minus, it will not give any output because it has already reached to the limit. The number has to be, see, start number in this case, when we are talking about negative step, the start must be greater than the stop. Only then we will keep on decreasing. So 10 cannot be decreased to 15. Right, 10 cannot be decreased to 15. So in the negative, when we are specifying, the start value must be greater than the stop value. So just remember this thing. So now in this case, so all are negatives. Which is greater? Minus 2 is greater or minus 8 is greater? Yes, please.
Minus 2.
Minus 2 is greater. That means start is greater than the stop, right? So if we subtract, we will reach to minus 8. So that's why we are going to get the output minus 2, minus 4, minus 6. Clear this thing? Yes? Okay, so now you just tell me what is the output for this. For num in range 2, minus 5, minus 1, print num. I have highlighted, you just write in your notebook and tell me what is the output. Execute this and tell me the output. Write your output in the chat box. Okay. Dhruv is saying the output will be 2 to -4. Rita is also saying the same. 210. Okay. Himanshu has given the complete output. Okay. Okay. Shalini, Sanjeev, they have given the complete output like this. Correct. Okay. Let's do this and see. Okay. 210 -1, right? So why we are getting? Because this -5, this is less than this 2 is greater. The start has to be greater than the stop when we are using the negative range. So that's why we are able to get this output, right? So what we will be getting for I in 20 -2? What will be the output for this? Why I'm getting error over here? Anybody? Can anybody tell me why I'm getting error over here? Yes, please. Can anybody tell me why I'm getting error over here? Great. I'm happy that you are looking at everything very carefully and doing the things. What else is left now? Why still I'm getting error? What is this? Yes? Great. Okay, so this is a program just to print a sky code for the various messages that we are entered. So we are just, in order to get the message, so here ORD is a that code of the any characters entered. Okay, so just try it out. You write any characters, like you can write A, B, C, D or whatever you want. So let us write one message. Okay, only right, and see what are their sky codes. So the sky code for these are 9732. It is repeating message. Okay, can anybody tell me why I'm getting this message repeatedly? You try out this program first. Message, just input. This is also just a message, a sky code for the message. For ch in message, print ord ch end. Have you done? Who has done? Yes, Salim, you are right. Your answer is correct. Right? So what we have given as input is, let us say, so I'll write it. I have written A space B space C space D. Right? So here you can see when we are using a space, the ASCII character for space is, the ASCII code for space is 32, 32, 32. Right? And the ASCII numbers for the A, B, C, D are 97, 98, 99, 100. Okay, so you are right. So this is how we have to understand that when we are writing the programs, whatever values we are getting, what is the meaning of that? Okay, so we should know each and everything. That's very nice. Okay, let's move ahead. So these are the practice questions that you can do to print the first n Fibonacci numbers. Then program to find the sum of the series. This is x plus x square x cube up to x power n. You can also find the sum of the geometric series using a plus ar square plus ar cube. So any kind of series, you can compute their sum, you can compute their values. So right, using the for loops, you can write programs for anything. So along with the various benefits of the for loop, there are few limitations. The limitation is that for loop only works with sequence. We have seen everywhere we are either using the range or we were using the list, string or tuples, right? So it can be applied only with the sequence. So for loop only works for programs where the number of iterations are known. If we don't know the number of iterations, then we cannot apply the for loops. The another thing is, like, if we want, loop doesn't work for programs like digit extraction, menu driven code and infinite. In order to solve such kind of problems, if we don't require, if we want to do something, we want to do the repetition task but we don't have a sequence, right? So and we sometimes we even don't know when we have to stop the numbers. Let us say if I tell you that you find out the sum of digits, like the you can say, let's see, I give you the number 2453. Now you tell me the sum of digits of this number, 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3. So how are you going to do that? So first you will have to find the length of that, and after finding the length of this, only then you can find out sum of this. So the other alternative to do this particular task is to go for the while loop. So how do we use that? We use while expression. Expression is nothing but a condition, and then within the after that we have the block of statements which will be executed when this expression evaluates to true, right? So necessary conditions are, we first have to specify the initialization, we have to specify the terminating condition, and then we have to specify the iterations. So while loop allows multiple ways of iterations. Let us understand. So for a fixed number of steps, if we know that we have to see the kind of task we were doing with the for loop, the similar kind of task can also be done using the while loop. I is equal to 1, this is initialization. While this is what? This terminating condition. That the program, this part of the code, second part, these two statements will be executed till this condition is satisfied. If this is true, then this will be executed. If this becomes, while condition becomes false, the rest of the statements will not be executed. So here you see the same task that we were doing using the for loop, we can also do using the while loop. But there are few tasks which are not possible with the for loop, but we need to use the while loop over there. Then the one thing, the limitation which was there for the for loop, while loop also works when number of steps are not known. Here we don't know, we are not going to use any condition, so we are just saying we want to print all the numbers divided by, from up to 100, all the values divided by 3. So we don't know how many numbers are there, so we are just writing while I greater than equal to 0. So it should keep on doing. So print I is equal to I by 3. All the numbers divisible by 3. So every time we are by a step of 3, we are moving. See, all the values which are, so we are printing all the values of I divided by 3. See here, right? So we were not having any stopping condition, right? So the actual number of steps we were not aware. So we are just doing it. Okay, whatever value is left over there. Okay, let's move next. So to count the number of digits, how many digits are there in the number that we have entered? Let us say I have a number, let us say it is a 5-digit number or a 3-digit number or a 20-digit number. So in order to do that, what we are doing, we take the input from the user. So we start, this is the initial condition, this is the terminating condition. Here you see we have written n, while the value of n is greater than 0. t is equal to plus 1, n is equal to n by 10. What it is doing, what is the meaning of double slash? Anybody, what is the meaning of double slash? Yes. Okay, let us give a number. So how many digits are there? 4. This is a 4-digit number. Are you able to understand the process, what we are doing over here? See, by that, see, we are dividing this number, finding out the quotient, dividing by 10. First time we divide by 10 for this number, 546. Okay, incremented by 1, right? So every time, then 546, then you can say then 54 and then 5. So initially, since it is 4-digit number, so we 546, when we reach here, this is greater than 0. So we again count one more and then we just do the division. Then we are left with 54. Then we again go back, it is still greater than 0. We increment the value and then we compute this. Then we are left with 5 and then we go back again, it is greater than 0. It will increment the count. Then when we reach over here, again this 5 is divisible by 10, which is not greater than 0. So it will stop here and then we are going to print this value. So we can, you want to see the actual process of this division, you can see that. Let us say, so this is how the print value of this C is being printed. First it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us say we want to print the values of n itself, how its values are changing. Okay. After the division, the quotient, first we divide, we get 547 as a quotient, then 54, then 5, and then 0. This is what I wanted to explain it to you. Okay. Now again, see here we were just trying to find out the count of the number of digits which were there in the number. Now I want to print the, extract the digits, 5, 4, 7, 8, what, or 7, 6, what is. So again I'm taking the input from the user, while n greater than 0, print n percentage 10. It will give us the, what it will give, percentage symbol. What is the output for the percentage symbol?
Remainder.
A remainder. So when we divide, let us say 546 is the number, when we will divide it by 10, so what will be the remainder? 6, right? So this is how we compute. Here you see enter the number. Okay, so we are able to even reverse the given 4-digit number also. So you are able to write one program to reverse the given 4-digit number by simply using these two statements in the while loop. Clear? Right? And similarly, if you want to find out the sum, right? So what we are doing over here, input while n greater than 0, s is equal to this is right. So what we have done, I'm just adding s is equal to s plus n here in this particular statement, in this n percentage 10, because I'll be getting 6, I will be adding 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3, I'll be able to get the addition of these, the sum of these 4-digit numbers. So just one extra step in this particular program, I'm able to find the sum of the digits of the given number. Right, so these are the numbers. So 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12, plus 6 is 18. Any doubts till now? So we are done with the loops. So all the control statements, the if statements, and the your iteration statements we have completed. So I'll move on to the next data structure, that is list. So if you have doubt in this particular part, you can ask. Yes, please. You can just go through it. Yes, Ritu?
It's horizontal also, like vertical line 6, 5, 7.
I'm not able to get your what you are asking.
These just
Vertical what?
these digits are arranged vertically, na 3, 4, 5, 6. Can we write horizontally also
Yeah.
by end state that?
Yeah. That way you can use that spacing, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's proceed to the next topic, that is list. Okay, just give me have water for a minute. Large amount of data, we cannot use multiple variables, because remembering the task, like we have to remember so many variables. If I have to store, let us say 20 items or 30 or 40 or 50, 100 items, 1000 items, in that case I will have to remember the names of those variables. 1000 variables I'll need. Besides, all these variables will be stored randomly. Them is time consuming. So we used list data structure, and list data structure can be used to store any kind of data, mixed data. It's not that if you declare list is not having any declaration or any data type. Like in the your Python, like if you assign some value, that becomes the data type for that particular variable. Similarly, whatever data is being stored in the list, that becomes the data type. But here the list has a provision that you can store any type of data. Like you can store the string, you can store the integer values, you can store the tuples, then you can also store the mixed values over there, right? So we are going to discuss the various operations, how to create a list, how to access the list, then how to concat and do various operations which are there in the list. So what is a list? It is a collection of values or an ordered sequence of values and item. So it is in the order, but it doesn't mean they are same. They can be of different data types. So the item list can be of any type: string, integer, float, or even a list. Like we can create a list within a list also. List elements, they are always enclosed in the square brackets, right? And they are mutable. That is, values in the list can be modified at any point of time whenever we require. And list can have heterogeneous data type. That's what I said. In the same list you can store any combination of data. For example, you need list. So this is one list. So list, it is a comma separated values. All the items you see, they are separated by commas, right? So this is a string, list of string within the square brackets, right? And here you see, when we are talking about string means you can say a list of characters. But here you can say when we are creating the list, here you can say these are the two integer values, then we have a string, then again some integer value, then again some string. Here what we can see in this example of list 3, this is a number, numeric value, integer. This is a decimal number, floating point value. This is another list within a list. Here you see, at the third position we have another list within the list, and then we have an integer value. So this is the beauty of list. We can say that we can use it to store any kind of data in any way, right? So here you can see, this is a numeric list, this is a list of characters or a string list, this is a list of multiple data type values, and this is an empty list. List 4 is an empty list, right? And this is a nested list where we have one list within another. So let us learn how to create a list. One thing is, like, if you want, let us say you have been working with the strings. Now you want to convert that string into the list, right? So you can start from there also. So we have list 1. This is just a name, user defined name of the variable name, or you can say the name of the list that you are trying to create. And here what we have written, list, right? And within the list you have a string, right? So what we are doing, we have passed one string, and now this string will be converted into the list. So when we are saying that list is converted to a list is a sequence of characters now. So now this is represented when we print this list 1. So it will be created like this. So all your lists look like this. It was a string in the beginning. Now I'm converting a string into the list. So you can convert your existing data into the list just by writing this command. List 1 is equal to list. So list is a keyword. You can say this is a function where we are passing one string and it will convert it into a list. Simply creating an empty list. So you can create an empty list like this. Or list 3 is like this, which is, so you are creating one list. This list is 10, 20 of the numeric numbers or the integers, we can say, and then we are creating a copy of this particular list. List 4 is equal to list 3. List 4 we are printing. So this is how we are doing. You can create one list from another list, right? Then how to access the elements of the list? See, when we are using something, task, right? We want to access the elements of the list, and then we want to do certain kind of programming. So what we can do is we can access the individual list elements using indexing and a range of elements using slicing, right? So we have two parts. If you want to access only one element, let us say you want to print only 20, so you will be accessing only the individual elements. So how the data is being stored, how the list data is being stored, let us say in the memory, it is stored like this. So let us say we have the numbers in this particular list: 67, 82, 98, 92, 78, 87. So it may be a list of numbers, it may be a list of strings. So you can access this list using two methods, either through the forward indexing or through the backward indexing, right? So in the forward indexing, the first element is at the position 0. So the forward indexing begins from the position 0 up to n, whatever is the size of the list. And when we are accessing, if we want to access it from the back, so in that case thing begins from the -1, -2, -3, like that till the beginning of that particular letter. So how do we do that? So let us understand how we are accessing. Let us say we have list of 10 numbers. Now I want to access the first number, right? So I have used list 1, 0. 0 is the index position that I have mentioned over here. So L1 is the name of the list, 0 is the index position. So at the 0th index position, which element is available? Here we have the 1. So it should print 1. Then at the 2 plus 1, iska matlab, what is the meaning of this? Which value should be printed over here? When I'm writing 2 plus 1, that means it is 3. So 3 means which value will be printed? Yes, please. Which value? Yes, 0, 1, 2, 3. So it is the, if we say it will be the fourth value. No, it is going to be 1 minute. 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait. Yes, it is going to be the fourth value, right? So because it begins with 0th position. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So the third one becomes the fourth number, right? And then 9 minus 2 is 7. So we will start from the 0th position and see what is there at the 7th position. So that will be the number 8. It is, so let us say 0, 1, 2, it is -1 because whatever are the values. So just for the sake of understanding, we are saying, and -2 is, so we start from here, this is -1, and then 9 is at the -2 position, because here you can see the indexing from the backward indexing begins from the -1. Okay. Okay, let's move next. So lists are mutable. That means we can update the values of the list also. So we can change their values. Like if we have some initial data in this particular list, now I want to change the data at a particular position in the list. So I can do that. So what I'm doing is, so here, how do we do that? This is the list of 3 numbers, 24, 35, 78. And now I'm doing is, so what I'm trying to write over here is numbers. So in the list, the value at the first position. So which value will be updated? If I'm writing the index value, see, just remember this is the index value in the square brackets. So the index value of first means second position. So the value 35 should be replaced with a 56. Right? So let us say I changed 87, and let us say I want to place this value at the second position. So 24, 35, 87, right? Now I want to see another way. See this here, I have just replaced one value, right? So only at a particular indexing position. Now I want to change the multiple values. So what I can do is, so this is known as, you can say this is the way to access a range of values. L is the name of the list. So we have again, so there, like you have seen the range function in the for loop, there we were using the commas to separate the start, stop and the step, right? Here also what we can do is we can use the start, stop and the step, right? So here first is the starting position that will be included, then from 1 to 3. So that means 3 will not be included, but the first and the second position values will be replaced. So what do you want to replace them with? We are replacing a range of values, right? So I want 5 to be at the first position and 6 to be at the second position. So this is the way we want to replace the range of values we can do in the list, right? So let us say if I do it from 0 to, and let us say change the numbers also, 15, 26. Okay. So 0 and 1, these two positions, first two positions, the numbers are replaced with 15 and 26 and the rest remains as it is, right? So this is how we can update the list. So what we say that a list is a relationship between index and the elements, and this relationship is called mapping. So each index maps to one of the elements, as we have seen over here. Each index position is mapping to one of the elements in this particular list. So similarly, what we can do is, like, we have a list of strings, we have a, let us say, the product list. So what we are doing is we are replacing the value at the 0th position. Then here you can say, using the -1, where we are replacing the value of the milk with the water, and then we are just printing. So these are the different ways to update the list, to make the changes in the data that we have already stored in the list. Then we have large number of functions which are there in the list, you can say, which we can apply on the list, and we can do large number of tasks with the help of all these functions. So one of them is, like, we want to find out the length of the list. What is the length of that? Let us say we have large number of items in the list. Now we want to find out the length. So length is a function that returns the length of the list, or the count of number of elements in the list. So here you say, how do we write? This is a list 1 2 3, print length L. So here when we execute this, we get the length of the list to be 3. Let us say if I add more numbers, right? So what will be the length? 7. Right? Then what else we can do? So various kind of tasks that can be done. Let us say we want to combine the two lists. So that is called as concatenation. So concatenation means joining of two, means joining two operands by linking them end to end. So we just want to do the addition of this X is one list and Y is another list, and we want to combine the data of these two lists. So what is the method? So what you have to do is, you simply have to use the addition operator, and these two lists will be combined. Right? When we use the addition operator between the two lists, these two lists are combined in the same order as you have written the you can say the names of the list. So Z is equal to X plus Y. So first we'll get these three numbers, then we will get these three numbers. So here you see, when we are writing this, we are just writing L1 L plus L2, and we get this. Let us say if I write L2 first, and then I write L, and then what is the output? 3 4 5 and 1 2 3. So the way you are going to write, the two will be appended with each other. So the second will be appended with the first list, right? So this is how we get the, or you can say, this is how we concatenate the two lists. Similarly, so this was the concatenation operation on the list of integers. Here we can also concatenate the list of strings. So that doesn't matter what kind of string you have, you can concatenate any kind of string. This is the list of you have strings, then you have another list what we have over here. So again, you can try out this thing also, like we have the list L2, and L3 is equal to L1 plus L2. L1 we have taken it from here, right? So the L1 we had, see, we are working in this environment, L1 variable. This list is already available because we have executed. That's why we are able to take up this. Or you can also do this L2 plus hello, right? One minute. So here, just to make you understand that it can only concatenate list, not the string to the list, right? So we have to remember, so the concatenation operation operator can only concatenate the list, not a string. So this L2 is a list, and your hello is a string, so we cannot do that. Okay. Similarly, let us see whether this will work or not. Again, it can only concatenate. So this is the limitation, or you can say, you should know, whenever you are using the concatenation operator, this is plus, right? It can only be applied to concatenate the two lists, but you cannot concatenate a list with a string or a list with a integer value. Okay. Now creating a replication. You want to replicate the list. You want to create the multiple copies of the list repeatedly, so that you can do that with the help of the star. Here you see, let us say we have a list. So a list, initial list, when you multiply it with a 3, when you multiply one list with any number, you are able to get the multiple copies of that particular list, like this, right? So here we have list 1 2 3, you multiply by any number and you will be able to get the a list of that, right? So multiple copies of that. So here let us say we do this. So we are able to get 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 3 times, right? Now if we do -2, what should be the output? Anybody? Can anyone tell me what will be the output for this? Yes, please. What should be the output for this? I have written L multiplied by -2. I'm waiting for the answer. Okay, Dhruv, Himanshu are saying empty list. Poonam is saying no result. Anyone else? Anyone else? Few more answers. I expect few more answers. Okay. Few more answers, please. Okay. So you're right. So we get an empty list when we do this. Now let us understand the other membership operators which are associated with the list. So if you want to find out whether the particular element exists in that list or not, right? Whether you want to check, like we do in the daily routine, you want to check out the with the help of a roll number, that this roll number exists in this particular class or not, right? So in this list, this, so we have to, so on the paper we are looking forward and we have to see in the sequence. So if we have the Excel sheet, we use the Control F and find that. So now if we are writing a program and we have the data stored in some file, so and we are storing it in the list, so in that case, how do we find out whether the number exists or not, or some element exists in this particular list or not? So for that we use the in operator. As if you remember, where we had used the in operator, we just used in operator somewhere in the programming. Where we had used the in operator?
For
For loop.
range से पहले for loop में
Right,
range.
right. For I in whatever we had been writing the sequence. Okay, so that means this in operator was checking over there if there's something exists. So here we are using the in order to find out whether particular number, or you can say, or whether a particular element exists in a list or not. So this operator test if an element is present in the list or not. If an element exists in the list, it returns true or it will return false. A list 1 15 10, this is your list 10. So print 10 in a list. So this is how you're going to write 10 in a list. A list is the name of the list. So if it, you just try out this thing first. Yes, please. Okay, let me do it here only. Let us say we create a list. L is equal to right. So Now I want to check print 40 in L. Okay, sorry. True, because it exists. Let us say I write 90. Okay, it is not there. Then let us say I write December, and I write here also DC. It returns me true. Let us say if I do this, then you see. Got it? Why it is giving false? Yes? Have you got it? Because it is case sensitive. This December is different from this December. That's why it is giving me the false. Okay, so this is how we check this number is there in the list or not. Let's say if I write, instead of this, I will write not in list. Now it should say true or false. It should say true, because it agrees with me. Now I am saying print December not in the list, so it says yes, it is not there in the list. Now if I write sorry, December not in the list, it is wrong statement, so it will give false. Okay, I hope you understand the difference. Okay, let's move. So you create a list called festival is given with the following. So this is a list of festivals. Write a program to enter a festival name and search whether the name present in the list or not using in operator. So you just write one program where we have a list of festivals, and you take the input from the user, right? And after that you just have to find out whether this name exists in the your list or not, and accordingly you print the appropriate message. Okay, so let us say here it is printed enter festival name as Onam. Yes, Onam is in the list, otherwise there is a no, there is no such name. To use the in operator, and that will help. So here if enfest in festival. So what is enfest? This is the input from the user. So we just hit the festival is name of list, and then we just print message. So the task is very much simple. You have to iterate over the complete list one by one. So that task is being done by the in operator itself. You just have to use one in condition. You can print the. Then slicing. Slicing means selecting a list. So you just want up between, right? Let us say we just don't want one by one. So let us say we want all the elements from position 1 to 4 or from position 3 to 5. So like that, if we want to take out the elements or extract the elements, that is called as a slice. So the subset of list can be taken using the slice operator with two indices in square brackets m and n. So the m and n returns the part of the list from the mth position and up to, but not including. This is what I have told you in the beginning. We did this when we were doing this. So we did this at the back here. So this was called as slice. Just updating here, we are not printing, basically we are updating this, right? So this is also, so here 0 to 2, but 2 is not included, 0 minus 1 up to that position before that, right? So returns the part of the list from the mth position and up to, but not including the position n, that is n minus 1 up to it will go. We have list 1, we have, so we print the list only 2 to 5, right? So we start from the 2, 4 it will go. In position 0, 1 to 98, then 99, and then 78. These three values will be. This is called as slicing of a list in Python. Similarly, see, we know that we have forward indexing and as well as a backward indexing. So you can do that, you can use this both ways. You can start from do the slicing task using the forward slicing as well as the backward slicing. This is your choice, right? So what happens if I use, let us say if I want to print all the numbers of the list, so what I will do, so what, okay, can anybody tell me what is this going to print? Okay, this is already shown to you. Okay, so we start from the -4, right? So -4 is the starting position. So -1, -2, -3, -4, negative indexing. Here you see, this is -4. It starts from here, right? And then all the all the numbers after that. So -1, so it will keep on going to from left to right only. So -4 till end. Third position till end. Right, what is the third position? Here you can see this is 92, 92, 78, 87. So it will, so if you don't specify anything over there, it means till end. Okay, so this is how the slicing operator works. Okay, do this thing, correct this code and tell me the output. All of you, I have written this part of the code. You have to correct this code and tell me what is the output. Start doing it. The one who will complete it, you will tell me, you will show me your code. Please correct this code and tell me what is the output. Or you tell me the mistakes. What else is to be corrected? What else to be corrected? Which bracket is not closed? Which bracket is not closed, Himanshu? Second line. Okay. Done. Now what is the error? Okay. Small p in p. Good. This is how to access the various elements from the list, the data that we are accessing in the answer. Anybody who has done it with the output? Yes, please. I'm waiting. Box. Yes. How I'll come to know? Shalini and Ananya. Ananya, you show me your screen. We'll see what is the output for each. Share your screen. Yes. Your screen, you have done it. Okay, it's fine, Ananya. Send your screen, please.
In my code.
Oh, you do. It's fine
Okay.
because we have not used the print statement. No, you along with
Okay.
each you all. Okay. Just one thing you have to do is it will show you the last output.
Oh,
Okay, you print uh, all. See, and then like this, you just update your program. Clear? So this is how we are getting the output. Anyone who is not able to understand this output? I hope this is clear. Yes, please. Okay, you go through it. Rest of the part we will discuss tomorrow. So tomorrow we will complete the list and then we will start with the dictionaries also, right? So that's all for the day. So go through it. Whatever we have done, go through it again and try to practice the question. Do one question of that I already given you to print the triangle using the for loop, right? So do practice that. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
ठीक है सर?
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.